What a silly charade this week in particular will be. The only good thing I see coming from this is that the senators, they have to sit in their seats. They're getting sworn in today. They have to sit in their seats. They can't talk. They can't talk to each other. They can't bring in their phones. They can't do anything, which is awesome. That's great news. Our country will be way better off with these 100 people locked in a room all day. I say the longer this thing can go, the better for America, which is the opposite of what I thought even just a couple days ago, because I didn't know they had to be locked inside basically a jail cell all day long. But now that I know that, it's like, oh, well, let's drag this thing out all year. No, in all seriousness, I imagine the tactic from McConnell was going to be to get this over as quickly as possible, right? Get it over in like a couple days, just be done with this thing already, and just move on from the whole impeachment thing, not guilty, boom, and that's it. But maybe, truly, I think the play now is to let this drag out, make it as mind-numbingly boring as possible, which Mitch McConnell is pretty good at doing, and also keep the Democratic presidential candidates locked away for a couple months. They have to be there. Joe Biden, all the rest. I read an article the other day about Senator Bennett. He's running for president, I guess, if you've ever heard of that guy. So, but there's like 4 senators or whatever running for president. Keep them in the chamber. Keep them locked away. They can't go anywhere. Keep them past Iowa, whatever. Right? And McConnell will be like, hey, you want witnesses, Democrats? You want witnesses? I'll give you witnesses. 3 months of witnesses. I see a month going by, and the senators, they're begging to be set free. Let me out of here. He's innocent. I don't care anything to let me out of here. Yesterday, we mentioned a line from Rich Lowry at the National Review. Do you remember in 2015, so this would have been just before the Iowa caucuses for the Republican primaries, National Review wrote a special issue against Trump. So I was reading this Rich Lowry interview, and this just popped in my mind, this against Trump issue. And it was from all these top conservative thought leaders on why you should not support Donald Trump in the primary. So it popped in my head, and I thought, geez, I wonder how those concerns and criticisms from good, genuine, well-intentioned Republicans and conservatives, I wonder how those criticisms and concerns have stood up over the last 3 years of Trump's presidency. So here we are. Let's go through a few of them and see how they've done. So this is Brent Bozell. It's from the Media Research Center. He said, Trump may be the biggest charlatan of them all. He was too distracted publicly raising money for liberals such as the Clintons, championing Planned Parenthood tax increases and single-payer health coverage, and demonstrating his allegiance to the Democratic Party. Okay, so those were his concerns. So since being president, has he done any of those things? Has he supported tax increases? Quite the opposite. Single-payer health care? The big one, has he demonstrated allegiance to the Democratic Party? I don't think so. This one's Mona Sharon. She said, but one thing about which there could be no debate is that Trump is no conservative. He's simply playing one in the primaries. Put aside for a moment Trump's countless past departures from conservative principles on defense, racial quotas, abortion, taxes, single-payer health care, and immigration. That's right, she says. In 2012, he derided Mitt Romney for being too aggressive on immigration. The man has demonstrated an emotional immaturity bordering on personality disorder, and it ought to disqualify him from being a mayor, to say nothing of commander-in-chief. So she has 2 main arguments here. Again, and I mean this is a genuine, honest question. Has Trump, how'd she put it, departed from conservative principles? And go through the list. Has he departed on conservative principles, on defense, on abortion, on taxes, on healthcare, and then on immigration? So the concern here from Mona was that Trump might be soft on immigration. I think that certainly has not panned out. Her second point, and this is a common theme throughout many of these people's arguments, is that he doesn't have the emotional maturity for commander-in-chief. He doesn't have the emotional maturity. All you need to point to refute that is the foresight, the forethought, the discretion, and the self-control that was shown during Iran last week. You know, remember World War III? All you got to do is point to World War III to show that he has the emotional maturity to handle these big, high-stakes foreign policy issues that people were genuinely concerned that he could not do. Stephen Hayward had a very similar line. He said, restraint is clearly not in his vocabulary or his character. But I think with Iran and many other foreign policy issues, he's shown that to be false. Mark Halperin said he doesn't know the Constitution, history, law, political philosophy, nuclear strategy, diplomacy, defense, economics, or even how ordinary people live. Compared with the weight of the office he seeks, his deals are microscopic in scale, and as he faced far deeper complexities, he would lead the country into continual Russian roulette. So I would argue that the principles of the small-scale deals that the president made in his business life, right? I think those skill sets have worked well in the office of presidency. So remember yesterday we talked about the debate and how the skill sets of the debate have zero correlation whatsoever to the executive branch of government, right? Right. So the skills, like you can be the best, whatever this ridiculous format of the debate is. You can be the best at that ever, and that says nothing about how good of a president you might be. Nothing whatsoever. And that's why these whole things are so goofy. The debates are so goofy, right? But the skill sets of being a businessman, they absolutely do correlate to the executive branch, right? And especially dealing. It's just dealing with people, right? Gaining leverage, understanding what you want, understanding what other people want, understanding their weak points, their strong points, and how do you get someone from point A to point B, right? That's Trump's like number one skill set. And of course he was going to bring that into the White House, and I think he's done to great benefit. Now, do I wish on Mark Halperin's point, do I wish he was more articulate in his political philosophy and grasp of constitutional history? Yeah, sure. Don't we all, right? In a perfect world, he'd be all those things. But I'll gladly take the last 3 years and the next 5 of Trump to get us back on course, as I think he has. And then sure, maybe we can get a constitutional scholar the next go around.